Hello and welcome to Next Day Solar. Today we're going to build the American solar windmill. Now windmills have popped up all over the world over the last 20 to 25 years and they all look quite tall and white with large white propellers, but this is something a little bit more traditional. This is the old style American windmill that you used to see in America, and it would catch the wind with its turbines and generate energy to be used in lots of different ways. So it's a little bit more old school, what you'll see out there today, but nonetheless a good way of learning about solar and renewable energy. We recommend that those aged 10 plus and upwards have a go at building this toy. It is quite tricky. It's not our easiest toy to build, but certainly with adult supervision, most youngsters could have a go. And when the windmill is in a bright and fun location, it will spin and the propellers will spin actually quite quickly. And there's lots of propellers, so it can look quite good actually when it's spinning around. So included within your kit, you'll get a really handy instruction manual. It's got all the pieces that are labelled, the numbers of the pieces, and then all pictures of the steps that you'll need. You get everything you'll need to help you build the kit easily. You'll have all the components, so I normally just take them out. You want a nice clean flat area to make the toy. So one of the first things that I'll do is just take all my parts out and just lay them down nicely. If there are any bits that you think you don't need, I normally just put them to one side. You never know what you might need, so you might need to come back to it later. So I'll just lay out all the bits that I have. Now I know the first thing that I'm going to build with this kit is the actual turbine. I'll just take out all the bits that I know I need for that. Okay, so first things first, take one of the flat discs. There's one with a circle and one without a circle. You want to start the one without a circle, and you're going to take the small rods that you have here. And if you have a nice small screwdriver, it can come in handy, and you'll just poke these out of there. These are going to hold your turbine in place. The first thing we're going to do is just place these in. Now, you're going to want to glue this together so that it all holds nicely. You get one of our little glue sticks included with every kit that we sell. So I'll just make a start. Just put a little bit of glue, place one stick in, and then we're going to place the cog in. Now there's a small circle there, and you want that to be to the right of the cog. So just line that up like so, and then just gently, gently, gently wiggle that down, and you'll find that goes down nicely. There's a second one, line up the circle in exactly the same place, and gently, gently wiggle that down nicely, and you'll find that the tip will just be sticking out of the top, which is exactly what you want. And then you're going to take your final piece and you're going to place it on top like so. Fantastic. Once you've done your first, you're then going to take a little bit of glue and just drop them into these areas, and then place the remaining 3 sticks that you have into position. And if you need some help, you can use the blunt end of anything just to help ease them into place. Generally, I find with a wiggle of my thumb, it goes in just fine. There we have it. So we have the start of our wind turbine. The next thing you'll need is all the little waffle shaped pieces. So just starting one by one, you're going to wedge them in place like that, but I'm going to use some glue before I do that to make sure that they hold in place. So just drop a dollop of glue. So I'll just spin round. I'll apply my glue first. Okay, the next bit's really easy, and young people can certainly help with that. You can see that they're just slightly misaligned, and that's correct. They'll go in at an angle, and an angle is what you want, and then just work your way around like so. Just apply a nice amount of pressure. You want to make sure there's a good fixing of the propeller in. Just work your way around like so. So there you go. That's looking good. Everything's flowing the right way, which is good. My advice to you is leave that to dry for at least 30 minutes on one side. Okay, the next thing we'll do is we'll build the top, the nacelle of the turbine. Now inside the pack with the motor, there are 2 little screws. Make sure no little people are around when you're doing this part. So you're going to take the top like that, and you're going to locate the motor through like so. It doesn't matter which side you do it, it's totally the same. And you'll see in the motor there are little fixing points. So just spin them round until you can see the fixing points like so. Drop in your little gold screws and just tighten up with a flathead screwdriver. Okay, so we've done our first piece there. We're now going to glue it to the base. This is the head of the turbine itself. So just with your glue, just apply a little bit of glue and just place it nicely down onto. It should go in nicely. So that's the very beginning of our wind turbine. I'll just put some glue ready for the sides to go on here, all the way along there. Great, so I'll just push my side gently on. There is a way of doing this, and you want the straight edge up against the front of the turbine, like so. Then we're going to put the top piece on. We'll get our top piece like that. It's going to sit like that, just like that. So we'll get some glue on all the aspects that are going to be touching, just so that it's nice and strong and it lasts for 20 years on your windowsill with no cats, no dogs knocking it, no young children investigating it, which is never going to happen. Just keep your cables out of the way and just gently place it down. Just gently line up. It goes on quite nicely like so. Okay, the next piece is this lovely wing. Now the wing is going to go on the back of the turbine. You'll notice at the bottom there's a fixing there for it, so it's going to slot on just like that. So just apply some glue just in the front, just in the rear there, put a little bit at the back there, and just place the wing like that, and just gently slide into place. There we are. Now with the solar panel comes a little sticky pad. Just remove the sticky pad, place it on top. With the solar panel, part of why we love solar is it's so simple and easy to do, and I think this is a great way of starting to get kids involved in it. This is a 1/2 volt panel. Most solar panels start from 12 volts. This is a very, very tiny one at 1/2 volt. You've got two sides, plus, which is the positive, minus, which is the negative, and the positive is the red cable, and the black is the negative cable. So I'll just loosen them off. So just taking your solar panel with a very, very small screwdriver, just loosen them off. And if you want to, you can also do it with your finger as well. It's absolutely fine. So once you've loosened off, just place the red positive line in first. It doesn't matter which one you do, it's perfectly safe. There's no harm to children or any risk of getting an electric shock. I normally pinch it with my thumb and then I'll just tighten it up. You don't want to over tighten it, so we often say actually just tighten it up with either a screwdriver very, very slowly, or with your thumb, just spin around like so. If you over tighten it, you risk puncturing the cable and cutting the cable, so just do it very, very carefully. Don't over tighten it. And when you start to feel some resistance, you can just do a little gentle tug test on the cable, and when it's nice and tight, that's perfect. You've got enough resistance and you can move on to your negative. So just gently again, tuck it in. Once that connection's gone through and you want to make sure it's making contact, then again, you can tighten up. Great. I've done my gentle tug test. Both cables nice and tight. You don't want anything falling out. You want to make sure your product works. The next thing I'm going to do is tuck my cables inside. A little bit of a fiddly job really, something that youngsters could also help with. Just pinch the cable and just gently, gently pop it into the nacelle, the head of the turbine like so. The screw connections are going to go down the bottom, and it's important that you do that tug test, because when you're doing this you don't want any of the connections to come off and you have to do it all again. So when you're ready and happy and satisfied, you can place the solar panel straight onto the top. Apply some pressure, make sure you've got nice clean hands and you don't dirty the panel, and it will stick in place. You can actually go outside and just feel if your motor is spinning. I can feel my motor actually spinning here just with the studio lights we've got, so just place your finger on there and you should feel it move. The last thing you could do is pop your plastic grommet onto your motor like so. Great. Now we're going to build the legs and the base. You're going to take your largest piece and you're going to start by gluing the base here and here. And you want to glue it in such a way where it has an upward motion. Then you get your next largest piece and glue it at the next rung. Now you'll notice that it needs to go at the higher setting. So do follow the manual carefully when you are doing the legs. They are quite tricky and they do need a little bit of care and planning when you're doing them. Second smallest piece and fit it to the higher rung, and then finally your smallest piece again to the higher rung. Now I'm going to get the other one, do exactly the same and place them together. So I'll start with my bottom, take my largest piece, get it at an angle. Okay, now at this point you want to apply some glue where the fixing is going to be, 4 fixings, and do exactly the same on the other one as well. And then gently bring them together like so, and they'll slot into place like that. Now my advice to you is work from the bottom, work your way upwards, and gently ease them into position. You've just glued them, so do this very, very delicately, like so. And if anything doesn't fit for you, just pause and have another go and look at starting again. And the sense of satisfaction is immense. You're now ready to put the top on, so just glue the top parts and just gently place your top on. It's quite a strong and sturdy base actually. Pick the front of the turbine, make sure it's nice and flat and sturdy, and you're going to mount your turbine. Now don't make the mistake of mounting it too far backwards, because if you do, you obviously won't be able to have your device spinning nicely and freely. So just apply some glue, just gently place that on top, and then you can gently get your piece and mount it. It's obviously just been freshly glued, and just do a bit of a test to ensure that it's happy spinning. It's quite a heavy array, so you can see that when I start it, it will start, and there we go. Happily spinning your American windmill, which will be a wonderful piece on a windowsill or fun place, and it will happily spin. Well, we hope you enjoyed building the American windmill. Thank you for watching, and if you are looking for easier or harder toys, do check out some of our other videos, and we hope you have fun and hope this inspires you and others around you to use renewable energy for a cleaner and greener future. Thank you for watching.